Hello YouTube! Scott here with an instant review of Marvel's Hawkeye, Episode 2, entitled Hide and Seek. Now, as far as a general review, I did actually like this episode a little bit better. You still had the whole thing where Kate's story and Clint's story, they intertwined a little bit, but most of the time they were on their own, doing their own thing, which seems a little odd if they're obviously gonna end up working together. And there were times when they were seemed like they were developing a sort of father-daughter dynamic, not so much as like a hero-mentor, or sidekick if you prefer, dynamic. Either way it works. There's one thing I thought was interesting. Either Clint, or Jeremy Renner himself, because I don't know the actual details, has a full arm sleeve tattoo, which is pretty cool. So there's that. The Tracksuit Mafia is funny as hell because they are clearly incompetent. It's almost as bad as if, you were being hunted down by the Three Stooges. Almost. The performances are good. Some interesting set pieces. There's some stuff in Central Park, some office building, penthouse, this thing right at the end, I'm not sure what it was. It's the Tracksuit Mafia's hideout. This thing where Clint says, "This isn't creepy." It's very, very creepy. Oh, and the dog! The dog is still in the show. It's still only got one eye, and Kate named it Pizza Dog. That's going to be the thing that gets taken away from this, I think. If I had any issues with the plot, I'm really hoping that the thing that I think is going to happen isn't. I know I said I'd eat my hat last time if Kate's future stepdad wasn't behind this somehow, but it really seems like he is, and if Marvel's setting him up to be this obviously suspicious, then they gotta work on their TV shows. Because apparently they either get really good ones full of magic, like WandaVision or Loki, and then alternate them with stuff that's real life, well, closer to real life, but really predictable, like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because if you watch that and you didn't know within the first couple of episodes that Sharon Carter was the power broker, you weren't picking up on the obvious. But anyway, let's get into the spoilers. Like I said, Kate and Clint don't get into a lot together. They start off the episode together. They go back to Kate's apartment. She wants him to sign her bow. He just wants his suit. Doesn't actually explain why, but it might have something to do with, in the first episode, how they were looking for the watch. But the Tracksuit Mafia could come along and burn the place down. And there's this one really cool shot that we kind of saw from the previews, where they throw a Molotov cocktail into the apartment and Clint catches it and throws it back, sets one of them on fire. Of course, while they're down there bumbling, Clint and Kate manage to make their escape and go to a safe house that Kate says belongs to her aunt, except she has to break her way in, so who knows what that's all about. And from there, they split up. Kate has to get back to her life because she's working for her mom's security company. And, she pretty much immediately dislikes her mom's fiance, Jack, who's right there at the company for some reason, but still agrees to have dinner with them that night. And the talk turns to fencing because he has a surprisingly large number of swords, and she actually challenges him to a fencing duel. And he fakes it, pretending he's not as good as he says he is. And she realizes that and catches him lying. Because it's extremely suspicious that Simon Callow's character, Armand, the one who was found dead in the last episode, was this guy's uncle who threatened Kate's mom and was murdered with a sword. This is either the biggest bait and switch ever, or Marvel isn't even trying anymore. But I'm going to get off that for a second and go back to Clint. Clint wants his suit. He couldn't find it after sneaking into Kate's apartment after the fire, disguised as a fireman. It was kind of weird that he could actually walk onto an active scene, just slip on a costume, go find out what he needed to find out, and then leave without being caught or even noticed. I mean, New York's might be a big city, but come on. Somehow the suit fell into the hands of a LARPer. So if you ever wanted to see Hawkeye do live-action roleplay, this was your chance. He gets armor, he fake sword fights a bunch of people, and fights them off, of course. And he finds a guy that's got his suit, a guy named Grills. He's like, look, fake a sword fight with me, let me kill you, and you can have the suit. And Clint goes along with it. It's a really great scene, because, I mean, this guy's like, you're a real superhero. This is as close as I'm going to get to being one. And Clint does it for him. It's really nice. Now, I should mention in the middle of all this, it's because he sent his kids home without him. Because he needed to clean up Kate's mess, basically. And, he calls the wife at one point, and more or less in code says that he has the suit, but he has to clear things up with the tracksuit mafia, and he's going to let them capture him. And it turns out later that's exactly what he does. They go way overboard, show up with 3 vans full of guys just to knock him, or just to hit him in the stomach, throw a bag over his head and drag him into one of the vans, even though he's like, guys, I can see through the bag. At the same time, Kate has realized that Jack is super suspicious, and she's trying to get a hold of Clint, but can't. But isn't it great that her mom owns a security company? Because she could track Clint's phone. So while he's tied up, being interrogated by this mafia, breaks out of his restraints at one point, which is a really great scene. He's trying to tell them he doesn't know who Kate Bishop is, because they know who she is. They tracked her to her apartment. So while he's trying to explain this, there's a creaking on the roof, nobody knows what's going on, and she falls through the roof. For someone who's trying to be a hero, she needs a lot of work. So the episode ends with both of them being tied up, and a woman who's apparently leading the mafia standing in a room full of speakers. She runs her hand over one of them while the music's playing, and Ivan, the guy that's kind of like the chucklehead of the mafia, tells her, we have them both. And I gotta be honest, I think she's deaf too. Like I said last time, they've retconned Clint's deafness into this show. He says it's just, a result of all of his avenging. Doesn't mention any specific moments. So he's deaf, and there's a good chance that whoever this woman is, because we don't get a name, we just see her face, but there's a pretty good chance that she's deaf too, even if she was, standing in a room moving around to music. I don't know. So yeah, I'm mildly more invested in this now. And I guess I'm going to see it through till the end, because it'd be really dumb to stop this sort of thing after 2 reviews. But anyway, that's what I think, that's what happened. So how about you let me know what you think? Go ahead and comment, like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and until next time, I've been Scott, and this has been an instant review, an offshoot of opinions no one cares about. Everyone has opinions. This one was mine.